those that don't know me, I'm Marlon from All Purpose Podcast. You ready?
Start recording. I'm on a whole nother level. I'm geeking.
That's bloopers. All right, you ready? Let's do it. It's good, y'all. It's your boy Marlon, and it's been a little minute, huh? What's good, y'all? It's your boy Marlon. Dang. I feel like I'm recording a podcast.
Give it a little more.
A little more oomph.
Yeah.
A little more oomph. All right. Give me a countdown.
3, 2, 1.
What's good, y'all? It's your boy Marlon. I'm finally back. For those who don't know me, I am Marlon Sellers. I am a co-host on the More Purpose Podcast with my brother. And for those that do know me, I am finally back on YouTube. Why I am here? My brother has been on my back. He's been on my back a lot. But overall, God told me I need to be back. I need to be posting. And it's something I wanted to do for a while, and I just wasn't consistent. I just wasn't faithful in doing it. I wasn't disciplined at all. If I didn't feel like doing a video, I wasn't doing a video. And over time, that just led to a big gap in not doing anything at all. So I'm finally back. This video does not have a specific lane that we're about to talk about. It does not have a specific topic that we're going to be speaking on. I just want to turn the camera on, because if I didn't turn the camera on, I would have made another excuse. And I've made excuses for how long? Months. You heard him. That's CL back there. I've been making excuses for months. And as you can see right now, I don't have a haircut. And I actually was going to say, I don't want to record today because I don't have a haircut. But that would have been another excuse, and we would have been just back down the wrong path. So I'm here, and yeah, hopefully, prayerfully, willingly, Lord willing, I will be back posting consistently, Lord willing. I want to say Lord willing because I don't want to make no premature promises, but I want to, and I will, through the power of God, I will be posting back up here. Basically, everything that has been going on is basically God was dealing with me on this aspect, because YouTube is always something that I've always wanted to do. But life happens, and stuff happens along the way, and you kind of get discouraged and stuff like that, or you stop. But God was basically revealing to me that your voice is so powerful. My voice is my gift, and I know that. And God is basically telling me, okay, you need to get on YouTube. I know you help your brother with the podcast and stuff like that, but it's a lane for you, and you need to get on YouTube, because the stuff you go through, your setbacks, the wins, the losses, and the stuff that you talk about that most people don't talk about, somebody else may need to hear it. And I believe that my life will be a blueprint for somebody else who was going through similar things that nobody else is speaking on. Because I don't want to give you all the wins. I know you see us on the podcast, you see all this different stuff going on in our lives, or maybe not even my life, somebody else's life also, and you just like, oh my gosh, that person's life is so good. So I'm really here to just give it to you raw. Pause. Give it to you. No chaser. I'm here to give it to you with no chaser, transparency, all of that, and just talk about like setbacks in life, inconsistency, struggles to stay motivated, struggles to be disciplined, struggles with laziness, and just stuff like that somebody my age, I'm 21 now, somebody my age goes through, and that most people just don't speak on. So where should I start off here? Where I've been at? You graduated high school in 2020, went to Rider University to run track. I didn't last there long. After my freshman semester, I actually dropped out, moved back to Virginia. And it's so crazy because I told my mom while I was living in New Jersey, because I moved there with my mom and my little sister. I told my mom, and I didn't know it at the time, but I told my mom, I said, I feel like it's work for me to do in Virginia. And it's so crazy how like God just plays out, because I told my mom that, not knowing that I really have work here to do. Now I'm doing a podcast with my brother. Now we're going out, we're speaking at different events and stuff like that. We're hosting Bible studies here, and it's just been amazing. It's truly been amazing. And I'm just glad that every step, every season of your life is never wasted. It is never wasted. So to whoever it may be in this point in time right now, everything that I'm about to say is just my life story. And I hope that you can learn. The main lesson in this is that wherever you go, whatever season you are in, God has the power to put all of them together and to lead you towards purpose and to lead you to where you need to be at in life. So yeah, I started off doing YouTube. I stopped. Then I actually came back home. When I came back home, for those of you that know, I got into real estate through my god sister Tiffany. Shout out Tiffany. She helped me a lot with that. I got into real estate. And I didn't just get into real estate because of my god sister. It was a whole series of events that happened to where I feel like God and the Holy Spirit was leading me to venture into real estate. I just dropped out of college and I really didn't even know what I really wanted to do in life in general. I knew I wanted to speak, but I never really spoke in this type of way that I do now. But everything was very uncertain for me. So I got into real estate. And one thing I learned from Darius Daniels is that sometimes God gives us revelation, meaning he'll give you something that he wants you to do. Okay, start this business, start this hair business, start this lash business, start this photography business, whatever it may be, start real estate. He'll tell you that and you skip right into the implementation, or you skip right to the application, meaning you just apply what he just said. But the step that's in the middle that we usually skip, this is all from Darius Daniels also, the step that we usually skip is interpretation. So it's supposed to be revelation, interpretation, then application. But I got the revelation that, okay, I'm supposed to be starting real estate. I'm excited, I'm young, I'm like, God told me to start real estate. I just jump right in the water, no life vest, no nothing, and I can't swim. So I jumped right into real estate thinking it's all gonna be peaches and cream. God told me to start it. I'm gonna be a millionaire by next year. By the time I'm 21, I'm gonna be a millionaire. I'm gonna be selling all these cribs and all this other stuff. I was so excited, couldn't nobody tell me nothing. But what I didn't know was that I didn't get the interpretation from God. And interpretation meaning when I am supposed to start this, where he wants me to start it at, what I am supposed to be doing with real estate, what lane, what niche am I in real estate? Because it's so broad to just say start real estate, and there's so many different lanes in real estate. You could be a real estate agent, you could flip houses. It's so many different lanes in real estate. But what I picked up from it was go be a real estate agent. So got into real estate. I can't tell that whole story, but long story short, I ended up putting real estate on the back burner currently today. A lot of you guys may know me on social media as the Flyest Agent. The Flyest Agent, that's what I took on as my name, as my little tagline, as the Flyest Agent. I was making content, I was making videos and stuff like that. And long story short, because I skipped steps, because I didn't build that firm foundation in real estate, I kind of got pressed down by the weight of stress, the weight of anxiety and stuff like that. Because I didn't put enough work in, because I was not doing what I was supposed to do in real estate, it kind of just drowned on me to where I kind of lost interest for it. So I took a step back, I prayed about it, I fasted about it, and God was basically telling me, you need to stop real estate right now, because I was paying all these real estate fees, but I wasn't selling any houses. And at this time, I did not have a job. I left my job, I left school for real estate. And the problem with that is, a lot of us say we're stepping out on faith, but we do not add the work. So we always forget the work that we have to put in. Your faith can be so high, it can be so high going into something. That was a good catch, I know y'all seen that. Your faith could be so high going into something, but if your work ethic does not match the faith level, it's not gonna balance out. Because you can have all the faith in the world, but if you don't match it with that work, it's not gonna work out. So I found myself at a space where it was like, okay, God, you told me I'm gonna do this, and just kind of blaming God, like, God, you told me this is what I'm gonna be doing. Why is nothing working out? Why I don't have any clients? Why do I not have any business? Why haven't I sold a house by now? And God was basically just showing me, like, it's not me. It's not me that's the problem. It's you, Marlon. You are the problem. Because if I said you're going to do it, that means I'm going to favor it, I'm going to bless it, and it's going to be successful. So God is just kind of waiting on me, looking at me like, okay, everything that you're asking for is right above your head, and I can drop it down on you, but it's like you didn't work to get it. At the end of the day, everything I promised over your life it's set in stone. It's already written, as I always say. It's already written. But it still is a path that we have to go to work towards that, because God can't just, what kind of father would God be if he just dropped blessings on us prematurely before we was ready? So in this time of self-awareness and just self-reflection, where I'm just looking at myself in the mirror and just realizing the things that I need to work on, I realized that in general, and through the voice of my parents also, I realized that I have a problem with committing. I have a problem with committing. And when they told me that, well, multiple people have told me that, and then I started looking at every area of my life, and I really have a problem with committing. And I realized that the small things that you don't commit to will translate to bigger things that you don't commit to. So I went to school, went to college, dropped out of college, didn't commit to college. So that means I quit college. After that, I got a job. I didn't have the job for too long. I left the job. After that, I got into real estate. I stopped the real estate job, and that did not work out. I stopped real estate. And what I realized is that my commitment issues was because I did not have commitment. I didn't have a commitment with God. I'm gonna say that again. My commitment issues with everything else in my life was because I didn't have a full commitment with God. So because I was cheating God, in our relationship, I cheated myself in other areas of my life. I didn't fully commit to things. I wasn't a man of my word. When I said I was gonna do something, I wasn't on it. When I had clients that I was working with, I tell them I'm gonna send them a house, and I didn't send it. I'll tell myself I'm gonna study my real estate textbook. Didn't study it. So I hope y'all get where I'm going with this. So the problem is that whatever you do on smaller stages is going to be brought to light on the main stage. So because I had a problem committing in little things, the smallest things, when I got on the stage of being a real estate agent, just because I'm a real estate agent now does not mean that those problems are going to go away. No, it's a broader stage now, so it would just be brought to light. So basically what happened was, because I was not self-aware back then, all of my internal problems started weighing me down now, because now it's like, okay, I'm not prepared for this. I just threw myself in the ocean, and God probably was looking at me like, I told you real estate, but that did not mean right now. I need you to work on yourself first. I need you to focus on your self-growth. Matter of fact, the most important thing, focus on me right now. Focus on our relationship, because seek ye first the kingdom of God. You seek me and you stay connected to me, everything else is going to work itself out. Everything else will be added unto you. So that is where I'm at right now. I stopped real estate. It's on hold. I'm coming back to real estate. It's on hold. But I wanted to tell that story of where I am right now is because a lot of us, we feel like God has led us to do a whole bunch of things, but there is some internal work that we have to do first in order for it to be successful. This season has been the most fulfilled season of my life. I've been the most content. I felt the most fulfillment from doing the podcast with my brother and from doing the Bible studies, and just seeing how I impact people's lives is such a crazy thing to me. Since I've been doing the Bible studies, since I've been doing the podcast, the speaking and stuff, I felt so much fulfillment, not getting paid from anything. Felt so much fulfillment with just impacting other people's lives and just serving other people. And I think that was one thing, that's the main thing that I want to tell you guys on today, is because I got into real estate with no purpose. I got into real estate with no mission, no goal. I didn't have a clear purpose or a clear picture of what I was put in this earth to do. Now I do. I've served my granddad before he passed and stuff like that. And in serving him, I realized that my biggest thing, the most fulfillment that I get is from serving people. Now that I have that goal, I have that purpose in life, God has given me my why. Now when I go back to real estate the second time around, I'm not just out here in the ocean in the middle of nowhere. I have a clear goal, I have a clear path that I am steering towards. You feel me? So that's where I'm at right now. Life has just been, it's been crazy, but it's been good. I'm back on YouTube. As you can see, I have my braces off. You feel me? I just been cheesing. I have not stopped cheesing since I left the dentist office. Since I walked out that chair, I have not stopped smiling. So
we got veneers.
Alright, chill. But they keep trying to say I got veneers. Shout out my boy Tega. Tega, if you watching this, Tega keep trying to say I went to Colombia to get my veneers done, and I do not have veneers. I do not have veneers. But this is where I'm at right now. I'm back on YouTube, and I'm happy, and I'm excited. Can you make a guest appearance in my video, please? Cameo real quick while you're right there. Quick cameo. Just the main reason I'm back. He's the main reason I'm back recording, so take it up with him.
I got him, y'all. I got him, baby.
Been on my neck, bro.
We got him on the cam, baby.
Put his on next.
Yeah.
Let's get ready to rumble. So yeah, I do not have a clear picture with where I'm going with this. I'm just trying to be obedient to God. God told me I need to document everything. So I'm going to be back on YouTube. I won't be speaking all the time, just sitting down like this. It's kind of like a TED Talk, because I love speaking, for those that know. And you might can tell, I love speaking. So I will be doing a couple sit downs like this where it's just me, just venting. This is my safe space. This is going to be the space where I'm vulnerable. This is going to be the space where I'm transparent. And I just hope that as I talk about my life story and the struggles of everything that I go through, that you can get something from this and apply it to your life and grow and not make the same mistakes I made. So again, I'm back on. So I am going to be posting content. It won't just be conversations like this. It will be conversations with my family. It will be videos with my family. I'm going to vlog. We're going to do fashion. When I get back into real estate, y'all get real estate content also. But I don't want to be marked in a specific lane, in a specific path. Like, okay, he only makes content about real estate. No, this is going to be my faith walk. This is going to be my journey to becoming an entrepreneur sooner. This is going to be my journey with the podcast. Y'all will get behind the scenes vlogs with that. And just everything that's going on in my life and my brother's life also. Y'all will get all of that on this page. So stop what you're doing right now. Stop what you're doing. Put your phone down. Put your food down if you're eating. And just go ahead and like this video. Subscribe. Tell a friend to subscribe. Because when you see this video, share it with somebody because somebody's gonna get something out of this. So yeah, I did post on my Instagram what kind of topics and stuff that do y'all want me to talk about and all of those things. So I'm just gonna answer some questions now. I'm just gonna talk and answer some questions, and yeah, we can get right to it. Somebody said, you can't always be the superhero. Talk about the struggles with wanting to help everyone. Again, you can't always be the superhero. Talk about the struggles with wanting to help everyone. I believe it's a heart posture because some of us have like big hearts, such big hearts that we want to help everybody. And in the process of trying to do that, we end up weighing ourselves down, causing stress and anxiety that was never meant to be on our shoulders because we are trying to play God. And you may not see it as you trying to play God, but you have to come to the realization that you cannot save everybody. It's a quote I learned from my football coaches that you can bring the horse to the water, but you can't make him drink. And I live by that because I'll extend my hand for help, but at the end of the day, I'm not gonna make you want the help. Or I'm not gonna make you want to do better for yourself. Because one thing that I know I do personally is that I put my expectations, I put my mindset, my decision making, and my discipline, and all these different things that I have internally, I put that on other people. And I think that's where I'm most disappointed at, is because I expect myself out of other people. And I know if you're watching this, you probably feel the same way, where you expect yourself out of other people. You expect them to react how you react. You expect them to respond how you respond. And that's why we are left disappointed a lot of times, because we expect ourselves. So it's some people that you do have to love at a distance. You do got to pray for them, whether it's friends or family. It's some people that you do got to let go because they cannot go to where you're going. And that is no problem. It's no beef. All love to you. But at the end of the day, I'm on a different path than you. I'm going to do this, and I'm going to pray that God helps you and navigates you through what he's called you to do in life. Because at the end of the day, God still has a purpose for their life also. But the difference between us and that person is we want to pursue that path. And other people are comfortable exactly where they're at. You cannot put a shark in a fish tank. You cannot put a shark in a fish tank. And in the same way, you cannot bring a little goldfish. You don't want to bring a little goldfish to the sea. He's going to get swallowed. He's going to pause. He's going to get killed. You feel me? So small-minded people cannot survive in big environments. Okay, somebody said, this is a great one. This is a great one that I want to speak on. Somebody said, how do you deal with changing and how people view you because of it during your spiritual journey? Again, how do you deal with changing and how people view you because of it during your spiritual journey? So one thing I learned, well, one thing I am learning, I'm not gonna say I fully learned it, but one thing I am learning is that when you decide to walk with God, or even if it's not walking with God, if you just decide you want better for your life in general, and again, I am a Christian man, I'm a man of God, so I'm gonna bring up God a lot in this. So even if you're not a Christian, you're welcome to listen and all of that. And I hope that as you listen, you hear and see the love of God through me. So yeah, I want to put that out there first. But one thing I'm learning is that when you decide that you want better for your life, whether that's following God or just changing your habits and changing the things that you used to do, there are going to be people who do not hang around you anymore, or who do not want anything to do with you anymore. They're going to look at you like, oh, you think you're better than, you think you're this, you think you're that. No, I do not. It's just I decided I want better for my life. When I decided to actually follow God fully and get on this path, there was some people that I had to distance myself from. There was some people that fell off of the bandwagon. And one thing that I am learning and that God was showing me is that I cannot control how you view me. I cannot control how you view me. Because there are a lot of people, and it's been happening in my life as of recently, that they're not comfortable with your change. They are comfortable with having you so close and so comfortable with you underachieving that when you decide you want better for yourself, these people get frustrated with you. How are you mad at me because I want to do better for myself? How are you mad at me because I don't want to do the same stuff we was doing in high school? How are you mad at me? And a lot of them fall off is because the only reason y'all was friends in the first place is because y'all both was doing that same thing together. And as soon as you stop doing that thing, it's like, oh, the relationship ended. Because it wasn't a real friendship. It wasn't a real bond. Y'all just bonded over those things. Y'all bonded over gossiping. Y'all bonded over all the many bad things that we do when we are young and stuff like that. So y'all bonded over the wrong things. So a lot of people fall off when you decide you want better for yourself. And the truth of the matter is that when you do decide you want better for yourself, I believe that there is a mandatory, a necessary isolation season that you have to go through, because everybody is not going to be fine with that change, and everybody does not want to change with you. To go back to what we talked about earlier about wanting to help everybody also, I think this is a great comparison of the two questions that were asked, because You cannot control the narrative that people have of you. I know there are many people that look at me like, Marlon used to do this, Marlon used to do that, and now he's on a podcast talking about God, like, and he's doing Bible studies and stuff like that. At the end of the day, I will stress myself out trying to control how other people look at me and what they think of me. I don't owe people an explanation, especially people that have not seen me in years and people who I have not hung with. Because a lot of people are going to have a perception or a perspective of you that's not true no more. That's who I used to be. That's not me no more. And it's not up to me to change that. Like, I don't want to sit down and have a conversation and tell you how, oh, I stopped doing this, I stopped doing that. If you know me now, oh, I'm so much farther ahead now, I don't do that stuff no more. No, I don't want to have that conversation because obviously if you fell off the bandwagon, God let you fall off for a reason. And another thing on that topic is you have to make peace with your past. I'm gonna say that again. You have to make peace with your past. Meaning everything you did beforehand, before you start locking in with God, before you start taking your life serious, your purpose serious, and your goal serious, everything you did beforehand while you was out here wilding out and stuff like that, you have to make peace with that. Because you can't go back in the past and undo that stuff. So there's no need to be ashamed about it. Everybody has a past. Everybody has things that they are embarrassed by and things that they are not proud of. But what counts most is, what are you doing to become a better person today? If I was to look at myself and I can't see no change from 2 years ago, even 1 year ago or 3 years ago, that's a problem. And many people that want you to go back to that old lifestyle, they've been doing the same thing for years. And it's like, okay, I'm praying for you at the end of the day, but I can't be around you. I can't be around that because that would just help me that would make me relapse. It would make me go back to the things I used to do. So yeah, definitely make peace with your past, because at the end of the day, Jesus overcame all of that. His blood washes away and it covers all our sins and it covers all our past. So don't be worried about that. Don't be stressed about it. When you walk with Christ, there are going to be people that you used to hang out with that are going to say, oh, he thinks he's perfect. She thinks she's perfect. He thinks he does everything right. All of that stuff. People say that about me and have not seen me in years. And I'm just like, I thought you knew me. If you knew me, I'm the most humble person. I would tell you I struggle with this. I failed to this. I'm gonna tell you my losses. I ain't gonna just tell you wins. But some people already made up their mind about you. So at the end of the day, it's like, hey, I'm just praying for you, bro. I'm praying for you, bro. That's all I can offer you is prayer. So yeah, I'm not in control of how other people think of me, and you should be the same. Do not try to control the narrative of how people think of you. The people that want to see you in that right light will see you in that light, and the people that are supposed to be around you will be around you. So yeah, I hope that answered your question. Okay, somebody said, how were you inspired to be more intentional with your fashion? And who's your fashion inspiration? If you have one, please let us know. I don't claim to be somebody into fashion. I don't want nobody to ever think that I claim to be somebody just into fashion. I know it all about clothes and stuff like that and all of that. Honestly speaking, and I'm gonna tell you the truth, you can ask my brother, I wake up and I put my clothes on how I feel that day. So I always been the dude that when everybody dressing down, I got a collared shirt on. I think that's my signature too. The polo shirts, the short sleeve shirt, I think that's my signature. My mom calls me Franklin Saint. My friends call me Franklin Saint. For those that watch Snowfall, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Franklin always had a nice little button up on. He walking with his hands behind his back, just smooth as silk. That's what my mom called me. She called me Franklin Saint because I dress like that. But I don't really have. I don't think it's nothing I've really done fashion wise that has made me get to this point. I would say I don't think I've arrived in fashion. I don't even think I'm in the conversation, honestly, because I don't try. And I'm not saying that in no type of way. I'm trying to be humble. He's trying to be humble. Like, nah. Like, no. I put on what I feel. And if I want to take pictures, I'll be like, see, yo, come on, bro, let's do a photo shoot. Let's do this, let's do that. But yeah, it's just more so, to me, it's just about pieces. Don't try to tell anybody that you have to dress a certain way or that you should look like this. Fashion is completely up to you. It's completely your expression of how you feel. So I don't judge nobody for how they dress. Though it's some people out there that may not like how I dress. It's some people out there that may like how I dress. But at the end of the day, I'm just putting on what I like and I'm just expressing myself to other people. My inspiration, I would say, is PJ Tucker, basketball player. PJ Tucker, he plays for the Sixers. Those of you who know me, you know I love PJ Tucker, and he is an NBA player, but his fashion and his style is so unique. I don't think he dresses like anybody. He is that one in the NBA who just fits on at a great way, and I love his outfits. I follow him on Instagram. I be all on his page looking at his stuff, and he inspires me. He inspires me a lot. That dude has a crazy shoe collection like I've never seen before. But yeah, just wear what you want. And yeah, be yourself. Be yourself. You can only be you. You can only be authentically you. I don't wear nothing for nobody else. I come out the house sometimes and people look at me like, well, why are you so dressed up? It's not for you. It's not for you. It's for myself. So yeah, just be you. Okay, somebody asked the question, how do you get closer to Christ? I got a simple answer for you. I'm not going to make it complicated. I'm not going to make it deep. The way to get closer to God is to read your word and to pray. It is relationship. It's not just, okay, God, you do this for me. God, speak to me, all this stuff. No, you got to play your part too. And the word of God is how you know who God is, how you know his characteristics, how you know about his love, how you know what he did and stuff like that. And the more you know about God, the more you become to grow closer into him, into who he was. So I would say start off with reading your word. Start off with reading your word. And if you need to know where to start, I'll drop some things in the comments and stuff like that. But start off with reading your word and start off with praying. It might feel weird. You might feel like you're talking to yourself at first, but the more you do it is when you will find out that you're not talking to yourself. God hears everything. God is everywhere. We walk by faith and not by sight. So you may not be able to see God, but you have to believe that he sent Jesus Christ to die on the cross for your sins and for my sins. God is real. Jesus is real. And I just encourage everybody who's watching this, whether you're a Christian or not, to just test the waters. Try God. I always tell people try God. I don't ever want to force my belief on anybody. Try God. So try and read. Start reading. Start opening that Bible. Do it little by little. Don't try to force anything on yourself. Do it little by little. Start praying. Start talking to him. Because the more you start doing that, you're going to witness a change in your life, a change in your habits, a change in your desires, and you're going to experience God in a unique way. So yeah, that's what I would say to get closer to God. Somebody said, I want you to speak on moving out of God's timing. I want you to speak on moving out of God's timing. Oh, this is a good question because at the start of this video, I talked about how I kind of jumped out on something God told me a little too early. And what I want to tell you is that God's timing is perfect. And this is a concept that you need to wrap your head around. To those that do not have faith, it's going to be a hard concept for you to understand. But you have to understand that God does not operate in time. He does not operate in time. So there are things that we cannot see. There are pieces that God is putting into place. God is so strategic that a lot of us feel like we just be waiting on God. Like, God, when is the time or whatever. God is doing something while you're waiting. So you have to trust that God's timing is better than your timing. I always use the analogy, many people use the analogy of putting food in an oven. You don't ever want to pull food out of an oven too early because it's not going to be cooked thoroughly. It's not going to taste good and it's not going to be good for your stomach. So you want to let that cook because you want to take it out at the right time. And it's the same way with God. You don't ever want to do something too early. You want to make sure that you're always moving on God's timing. Don't be too excited to start something, too excited to do something, but God didn't tell you to do it right now in this moment. And that's what I had to figure that out myself from walking with God, is that we get excited to do a lot of things. But you got to realize that there's a specific timing with God. God requires you to have certain qualities and certain character development that has to be in you for where you went. What did I just say? There is a certain character development that has to take place inside of you before God takes you to where he wants you. So we can't just rush to want to go to the top. We want to go to the promised land and not want to go through process, not want to go through that wilderness season. And that's the main thing that I've been learning, and something that God has really dealt with me. I think that's one of the most topics that I can really speak on is process and the wilderness season and waiting, because a lot of people want to skip this step. A lot of people just want to go ahead and they want to be great. They want to be popular. They want to be famous. They want to be influential. But they don't want to take the steps to actually get to that. They want a microwave blessing. They just want a microwave blessing. They don't want to put it in the oven. They don't want to wait that 20-minute time. They don't want to wait long for the food to be done, to be thoroughly cooked. They want to pop it in the oven. They want to put 1 minute on it. They want ramen noodles. You feel me? They want ramen noodle blessing. So you got to trust God's timing, because everything that you want and everything that you ask for and everything that God is going to give you, there is a process that comes into play that you have to go through to get that. And there is a test that you have to take. I talk about all the time. I always compare it to school. You cannot move to high school without first passing your test in the 8th grade. You cannot go into high school without passing your SOL test and the proper test that you need to show that, okay, I know what I'm doing. I am prepared and I am equipped. I'm qualified to move to this next grade. I learned everything I need to learn in middle school, everything I need to learn in elementary school. Now I can advance to this grade. So there are certain tests that God is going to put you through, because for one, God wants to know your heart. Why would God skip you from the back of the line to the front of the line and take you to a place where everything is going good? You got all the money, you got all the fame, you got everything that you wanted, but your heart's not right. Because when you get there, all you're going to do is forget about God. So stop for 1 second. Stop thinking about the promised land so much. Take your eyes off the promised land and put your eyes on your present day. Put your eyes on the process. Because the sooner you lock in to what God's trying to show you in the process and the assignment that He has for you in the process, is the sooner that you can get out of the process. The sooner that you can get out of the wilderness season. A lot of us have been in wilderness seasons for so long because we have not done what God has told us to do in this season. We have not worked on what God has told us to work on in this season. I had to learn to commit with God first before He can allow me to commit to anything else. Why would He put something way bigger, a bigger task on me, if I can't handle the small things? You feel me? So we have to cherish the process. We have to cherish the wilderness season. We have to cherish all the steps that goes to success and to purpose and to just living in everything that God has for your life. You have to cherish this season, because these are the seasons that when you get to that promised land, you're gonna look back and the days where you wanted to quit, the days where you wanted to give up, the days that were painful, the days where it was like nothing was working out for you, you just kept taking L's. These are the days that you're gonna look back and you're gonna be like, dang, these are days that made me who I am today, and I'm grateful for them. But in the moment, you don't see it that way. You don't ever see it that way. So yeah, start looking from God's lens. Stop looking from your lens, because you may be looking at it like, you may be looking at it from your perspective like, God, what's going on? Why is it me? But honestly, rejoice, because God is trying to do something in you. He's trying to prepare you for there. He's trying to prepare you for there. So you have to worry about right now in this very moment. What does God want you to work on? What has God been telling you to stop? What habits have He been telling you to change? And all of those different things. So focus on the present moment and just be grateful and be content, because be content knowing that God's timing is perfect. God knows every outcome. He knows every circumstance. He knows everything that could possibly happen. So if He knows the timing, that means that when He gives it to me, it's the perfect timing. It's the perfect timing. And that means also, if I believe that when God gives me something, it's the perfect timing, then I believe that when He doesn't give me something, He was protecting me. So keep that perspective, and you're going to go a long way in life. And you're going to find yourself getting out of the season where you felt stuck and actually getting to where God wants you to be at. I'm done answering questions. I appreciate y'all. Again, I did not have no specific topic that I wanted to speak on, but I did want to get up here and just talk for a little bit. This is just the first video of many. You're going to see a lot of content up here, like I said earlier. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, and just hold me accountable. Spam the comments. Marlon, stay consistent. Marlon, stay consistent. You feel me? Because this is something I want to do. And at the end of the day, this is not about numbers. This is not about views. This is not about money. This is about obedience. God told me to do it, so I'm going to do it. So if just one person is impacted from this video that I did, this short video, if this one person is impacted, I'm going to be grateful if you just took one thing from out of this video. So if you got anything from out of this video, please drop it in the comment thread and tell me what you got from it. Spam me with like, spam me with love, because that's going to motivate me and that's going to keep me going. So yeah, y'all just be on the lookout for more content. And yeah, I just appreciate y'all for going on this journey with me. It's so much more to come soon. Don't forget, you are the head, not the tail. You are above and not beneath. And you are a lender and not a borrower. I think I'm going to end the videos. I'm going to end every video like that. That might be my little tagline at the end. Yeah, that's going to be my tag. You like that, CL? That's going to be my tagline at the end. Again, you are a head, not the tail. You are above and not beneath. And you are a lender, not a borrower. And that's all I got for y'all today. I hope you enjoyed it. Love. Dang. Chill. 4 fail. We would fall at the end. Like what, bro?